hold it just a second.
Okay. Call to order the regular meeting of the City of Aransas Pass City Council, December 7, 2020, at 6 p.m. Let's all rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Thank you, Father, for the day that you have given us, the beautiful weather that we have enjoyed. We thank you for your protection and your grace upon us, my Father. I pray your blessings upon the City of Aransas Pass's residents, that we end 2020 strong and bright future for 2021. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we're going to go to presentations and proclamations, and we're going to get an update by Eric Villarreal on the engineering regarding the water tower.
Thank you, Mayor.
doing,
Council, Eric Villarreal with LNV. I stood here before you, I think a couple of months ago, and said that we're pretty much complete. I can stand here today and say that the construction on the water tower is complete. We had a certificate of construction completion signed by me and the contractor, submitted today. There's a affidavit of all bills paid. The O&M manuals have been given to the city. Now, there's still some final payment, some administration things that need to close out the actual the payment of the project, but construction-wise, we're complete. And there's an agenda item later on that I'll speak to a little bit more to completely close out the project.
And what is it called?
What's that?
That agenda item, what is it called? I'm just curious.
I'll be happy to explain it with good news when that time comes.
So in other words, you're saying that y'all gonna pay for it?
No.
That's not the good news? No, I'm just curious.
It will be paid for.
Let's keep on.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Now we're going to go to an update by Russell Soki, AG, General Manager Project, or CM Project Manager regarding Compound Harbor Road Project.
Hi, Council. How are you all doing? Right now, I think I left you off with last month that we were setting up the detour on Huff Street to start the construction of the roundabout. And right now, we are moving it. We're working on that phase right now. We've got all the base in, curb and gutter will be finished by the end of the week. And now we're scheduled for the contractor. I don't have full control of when he's going to bring his asphalt crew in, but he should be in probably here in the next week, maybe two, and they're going to lay the asphalt final lift on the remainder of phase two, phase one, all of phase two, and then they're going to try to get the roundabout also. Once that asphalt crew comes in, they don't leave until it's all done. So we'll have all the road completed here, I would say, in the next 2 to 3 weeks on phase 1 and 2. And then what we're lacking from there will be the signs, the vegetation, and that will complete phase 1 and 2. And then we'll be moving into Bigelow Street, will be phase 3. Right there, you're looking at phase 2, just by Marina Way. You can see all the curb and gutters done, and in the base. So that's most of the work in there that needs to be done. The asphalt goes real quick. And coming up is your roundabout. You can see that from this stage, we're about halfway through. This was taken about a week ago. So there's been a considerable amount more curb and gutter that's been put in there. And contractors sitting on time. They're at about 37% with the work complete and pay items. So they're on schedule right now.
Okay, good.
Anybody got any questions? All right, well, thank you guys very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to go to Ms. Roxanne Pires on the demolition update. Our city attorney.
Mayor, City Council members, good evening. My name is Roxanne Paez-Cotroneo, and I'm your city attorney. We have tonight yet another demolition PowerPoint. I know that these things are becoming way too common, but isn't that good news? We're improving the values of our land and making sure that we are ready for rebuilding. So let's take a look. The last time we gave you a PowerPoint presentation and an update was back in August. August the 19th, around-ish. We're going to give you a 3-month update and let you know what's been happening the past 3 months. Now, I want you to keep in mind, we're still under COVID, obviously. We've had some holidays in between it all, and you guys thought, well, is there really anything that's going to be accomplished in the next 3 months? Well, let me tell you something. You have a dynamic demolition team. I want to recognize those who are here today. We've got Burl Smith. You're a wonderful boarding official who's got so many certifications. It's beyond recognition. Yay, Burl. We've got two more. Now, I know that all of y'all know Corey, because Corey in code enforcement, code compliance. We're calling him the C3 nowadays. Corey's code compliance. So, hello, Corey. But do you know Tito? Tito is also a very important part of our team. He's been working on the demolitions with us for, gosh, maybe a year now, Tito? Wow. And, you know, I have to tell you, he's given Corey some serious competition. More on that later. However, the council, when we hired me about, 2 years now ago, one of the things you wanted to make your priority was cleaning up your city. We will talk about the different tools that we created in that process 2 years ago. I wanted to go straight for the tickets and the lawsuits, and you said, no, meet and greet them first. Figure out what's going on. And the council was so wise that that's what we did. So we do send letters out to meet and greet every property owner that has a substandard structure. And boy, have we learned some interesting stories, haven't we? I've shared many of those stories with you in the past PowerPoint presentations, and we've got some more information for you this time. Well, I know you're like, just cut to the chase, Roxanne. How many actually have you demolished? And you thought it was 144 because you got to see the demolition in your packet. Well, here's a surprise for you. It's actually 146. If you'll take a look, you'll see 1155 North McCampbell is updated before and after pictures that were handed out to you. That's because it just happened this weekend.
Oh, wow.
Good. Nice job before and after. We've also got another one we don't have pictures for, but it's 516 North Rife. In the PowerPoint presentation, you'll see pictures of the actual mapping of all the properties that have been demolished. Burl is so good at this. He does the green ones for what we've done before the past 3 months, and the yellows are the ones in the past 3 months. Okay, so the yellows are the ones that are all over the city. How many have been done in the past 3 months, though? Let's take a look. It's actually 28, 29, 30. All right? Nice job, team. It's not just about demolishing, though. It's also about repairing. And so we do have one of the properties that have been remodeled, and we'll talk about that in a little while. Let's take a look at 617 properties that have been demolished. You know this one as a high crime structure. This is the one that had vagrants living in it. We had more than 100 calls, I think it was, right, Corey? 100 and something. Right. Phone calls for police service to this property. It took a while. We did have to work with the property owner. We had to evict the tenants. They had to go through the eviction process legally, and then they had to get them out there, actually, and then they had to demolish the structure, but it is down. Okay. Moving on to the next one, 229 West Myrtle. There's actually 2 structures on this property. I think we only counted it as 1, but there's the before and after. The third one that we'll see is the water tank. What a great value, right? We now have 3 great lots available for rebuilding that the city's able to offer to a developer, hopefully sometime in the near future. We go on to 219 South 10th. That was a bank repo. Now, here's a little secret. Back in the 2007, remember when that whole housing crisis happened? And the banks were foreclosing on all the properties? Y'all remember that? It's devastating for people around the nation. Well, some of us around the country were seeing all these bank foreclosed properties, and the banks weren't taking care of their properties. So a lot of the major cities got together, they sued the banks, and now as a result, there's actually a database. Every bank is required to now have a property restoration contact, and so we actually know those contact lists now, and so we were able to contact this bank owner. It was a bank repo, and they got it down for us rather quickly. Good. It's good to know those secret resources, guys, right? To 219 North 8th. This was actually a fishing guide's property, up and down. Fish without worry about a demo structure. 357 North Railroad. Oh, y'all know this one. This was out by the railroad, hence railroad, right? It's out near the flats. These were actually siblings, brothers and sisters. They came down on weekends, and I think they got it down in about 3 weekends for us. So nice, beautiful view and a large area of land to develop as well. Going on to 961 West Johnson. Now, this is where Tito has his magic, right? Tito is famous for identifying properties, and then before you know it, they're down. And this was one of Tito's properties. So I think we deserve a round of applause for whatever magic Tito has that is able to work.
Yay! Thank you,
Tito.
Tito.
Yeah, there you go. You can tell Corey gets a little jealous. 653 West Yoakum. That was a 2-story garage. Took a lot of heavy hitting on our part, but the owners finally got that down. 123 West Wheeler. This is, yeah, it's Tito's, right, Corey? It got repaired. So nice. I actually asked for some help on that the last time we did a PowerPoint presentation. And I don't know what happened, but somebody had magic and was able to finally get it fixed up. Thank you, Mayor. Let's talk about works in progress, because there's still more to do. The ones that we have left to get demolished are definitely getting more complicated. And whereas before the city never really had to use its demolition money in the budget, we may have to this year. We'll try not to, but we may have to. Let's move on to 251 South 9th. This was actually purchased by a realtor for her daughter. And they have actually, it's hard to tell, but there's really been a lot of progress on that property. They placed on a new roof, they're working on the siding, and they're starting to work on the rest of the siding and the interior within the next couple of weeks. 712 South Whitney. Oh, this one's owned by a man named Arnold Pena. At least he says he's the owner. The problem is there's been two different people who actually want to purchase this property and remodel it and fix it. Except that when the title company goes to look for Arnold Pena as the owner, they can't find any document that says he's the owner. But Arnold Pena's been paying the taxes on it for quite some time, and everything else is in his name. So we are legally trying to figure out how to work through that. But people want that house. So any information or inside information on Arnold Pena or his wife, his ex-wife, or one of his ex-wives, let me know. 1414 Highway 35. This is DePuma's land. That's been slow progress. It's a massive structure. Mr. DePuma has been working with us. It shows like it's slow progress, but because it's such a massive structure, there have been substantial amount of progress. He has had shoulder surgery recently, and so he is working with us and will continue to work with us, and we have confidence in that. Moving on to your favorite, Hong Kong. Okay, here's the deal. It really wasn't a black structure. It was a gray structure, but portions of it were black. So Borough went out there, tried to work it out. They demolished the black part of the structure. Remember, the part that really needed to be demolished, nobody could argue about. But this is the rest of the gray structure. Well, the Hong Kong owner really, really wanted to try to save it along with his daughter. And so they started painting, and then the Hong Kong owner got sick when he was trying to, and then he hurt himself when he was trying to fix it. And so what we've done is he's now decided it really does need to come down.
Good.
Oh, yay!
He just can't afford to do it. And so we have actually drafted a demo consent form that will allow him to sign it off. We've got it translated into traditional Chinese for him. That will allow him to sign off and allow the city to demolish it, and we'll lien the land for payment back. And we expect to enter into a payment plan with him to get that repaid. The approximate cost of the demolition, we are receiving bids on that. I don't want to say out loud what it is because we're still getting bids on it. But it will be a cost that's within our budget. So hopefully, as soon as he signs that consent form, we'll get that baby down for you. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's
awesome.
that's
Okay?
been needed to come down for a long
You're okay about that,
time.
Mr. Knight? Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Let's move on to 501 West Cleveland. This was the medical clinic. It used to be a medical clinic, served people. So before, it was okay, and then the next hurricane came through and storms came through, and it's not okay now. We've been talking to the property owner for the past 3 months. She does contact me every 2 weeks. We do talk on the phone. She is trying to get this down. Her plan was to get it down around Christmas or right after Christmas. those are still her plans. So hopefully that will be down before we come back to you in 3 more months. Moving on to 1051 South Houston. This is a gray structure. They're working on the foundation. Some progress is being made, but it's really not so visible to come back to you in the near future. Looking at 560 North Rife. This one's, siblings are bringing this one down too. They inherited the property and they're coming down on the weekends to demolish it. So a little slow on that, but you know how that goes. I have to show you 503 South 10th though. That was the burnt structure, the fire, where our firefighters amazingly took the structure and blew it down before it blew out the whole neighborhood. Interesting story about this one. We got right on top of it as a demo team. We had to spend like a couple of hours on the phone, right? Where we were trying to find the owner and the mortgage lien holder on this. And the mortgage lien holder gave us a roundabout, but we were on top of them. And before you knew it, within a 24-hour period after being on top of them, the mortgage got paid and the lien holders don't have anything to do with it anymore. And no one can tell us who paid it. So we might actually have to take some legal action on that because it's a very dangerous structure. It's near a school. We're working on it, but it's going to take more than a meet and greet. At this point, we can't even identify who paid off that lien. I've been in contact with the mortgage lenders' attorneys. They know who's been paid, they know who's paid it, and they refuse to tell me who did it. So more to come back with you on that. That just makes you stop for a while. I even told him it was near a school. It didn't help. 235 South Rife. This is a storage shed. 845 North Avenue A, the next one. This is a lady who agrees it needs to be torn down. It was her home, Hurricane Harvey. She has no other resources. She doesn't have the money to tear it down. She wants to tear it down. I'm still trying to figure out other ways to get it down without using city taxpayer money to lien the property. More to come back on that one. Let's take a look at 643 North McCampbell. North McCampbell is actually struck off to the taxing entities.
Are they going to bring it down?
Well, we need County Commissioner Jack Cheney to help us with that. The Aransas County Commissioner's Court is going to have to grant us permission, along with the other taxing entities, to get it down. We'll work with that and let you know relatively soon. 132A Gillespie. This one was owned by the former city billing official, Stoddard. Good news is that he's moved back into town. He's working on the main structure. This is not the main structure. These are accessory structures, 2 accessories. He's working on the main structure that they can live comfortably, and then he's going to take those 2 down. So more to come. 305 North Lamont.
Wow.
Very visible place. I have so much to say about this one, but I'm not going to. What I will tell you is that a portion of this has been demolished. It was the garage portion, and the property owner is wanting to work on the remainder of it, and so there are engineering reports coming in. There are building officials reviewing to get that going in the right direction. 187 South Lamont. It's a daughter, 2 daughters, I believe, who are taking care of their mom, who has come down with Alzheimer's. They do have power of attorney for their mom, and so hopefully they will be giving us that paperwork as well so we can have them tear that down. In fact, we talked to them today. What'd they say, Brill? Hoping in a couple of weeks? Right? Okay. All right, let's take a look at 1119 South Whitney. This was another fire. And the person who lived in it was buying it from the owner.
Owner
I
finance.
guess, owner finance? Well, part of the deal, the person who was living in it was supposed to have insurance in case something happened. It's part of the contract, right? Didn't have insurance. The structure is burned down. We were able to talk to the person who lived in it, who looks like they really need some assistance. Trying to figure out how to get them some help, but at the same time, we have a burnt structure that's in a bad shape. And so it turns out that the person who was buying it relinquished his rights and gave it back to the owner, who was financing the deal. And we spoke to that owner today in our demo docket, and he is contracted to have that demolished the first of next week.
Oh, good.
Can I take a breath for a second?
Of course.
How do y'all feel about this so far?
Oh, it's wonderful.
Good news, right?
Yes.
Getting cleaned
Mhm.
up.
Yeah.
558 North McCampbell. So one of our famous property owners in town sold this to a young lady who is a hard worker at a refinery and is decided that she wanted just to have a place that she could pay outright without having to finance, so she could have a place to live. She bought it. She's proud of it. She recognizes that it's in bad shape and can't do anything about it. So we talked to her again today, and she's beginning to remove interior contents, and then she's going to be demolishing that structure. So more to come. Let's talk about what we've just put brand new on our docket. So far, what you've heard about is the 146 that have been demolished. Out of the 146, 30 have been demolished in the past 3 months. And we showed you some ones we've been working on that have a little progress and have some stories behind them. You've heard those stories. And now these are new ones that we're putting up on the docket for us to work on. 157 South Arch. That's the one that has is that the one with the 3 structures? The house, the garage, and the carport, guys? That's the 3 structures, right? We just signed off and sent a letter in for that today. 1813 West Guile. We believe that there may be some mental health issues involved in this. We'll come back to you on that and figure out how to resolve those. 142 South 11th. That one struck off to the taxing entities. Only that's San Patricio County. So I'll contact Desiree Roth and hopefully we'll get permission to get that one torn down. We did receive news today on some other demolitions that are going to be happening relatively soon. Not down yet, but will be happening within the next 2 weeks. That would be 701 North Commercial and 1119 South Whitney. We work on these properties every 2 weeks when I come into town at 1 o'clock Monday afternoon. The demolition team meets over at the building department. Our team consists of Burl, Corey, and
Tito.
It also consists of Renee, who is our permit tech, who does a lot of the backroom paperwork for us, and we're really appreciative of that. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations on being able to clean up your city. So many structures, so much more to build and repair, and we're getting to that stage where that's going to be truly impactful. You're so used to the demolitions now. Just more demolitions. So many other towns wish they had what you have here, a great team. I'll be willing to take any questions you have regarding the demolition.
No, thank you for that great
Thank
report.
you.
Any idea as far as how many more? I know I take you around town when I have an opportunity and point a lot of these pointed out by me. Is anyone else going out as far as driving the streets or looking at it? Is that what you guys are doing?
Well, so if it's okay, I'll ask Tito and Corey to come up and answer that question for you.
Okay. I thought we would be rid of them. I didn't realize there were more popping up. I mean,
We are starting to narrow down, and I do want to give Councilmember Abrego credit. She is the one who does drive me around and say, what about this one and what about that one? And some of them are so built up with weeds and debris that I didn't even know there was a structure there. But we do have so thank you. Because she knows all the history of all these properties. It's rather amazing. So I think I have my 2 inspectors behind me, right? I feel them. They're there. All right, guys, go ahead.
Mayor, just for the record, Councilmember Moore is participating online.
okay.
Thank you.
Hello, good evening, everybody. So to answer your question, yeah, basically when we're out and about, we are keeping our eyes open for these structures. We're driving every road that we go down, every alleyway, to identify these structures, present them to the building official for review to get his expertise opinion on it, and we add them to our docket once we get the green light from the building official. So we are out there almost daily looking for these structures on top of every other code violation that's out there. So.
Okay. Thank you for that.
All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Keep up the work.
I'm so glad they didn't say how difficult I was on them. A lot of pressure on you guys, don't I? They're awesome.
Now, are we gonna go to the tree trunk removal?
Tree trunk removal.
Okay, Mayor and City Council, I'll continue on with the next agenda item. It's also my PowerPoint presentation. I am calling this the T2 project. Now, originally, I know you think it means tree trunk, but actually, it's more than that. I just got through bragging about Tito. Well, I realized how much great ability that Tito has with his magic. And Councilmember Abrego drove me around town again and said, look at all these tree trunks. And I'm like, wow, you're right. There's a lot of huge, massive tree trunks in town.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got two things in common. They're massive tree trunks, and they're all like on the city's easement, almost as if someone intentionally put them there believing that somebody was going to pick them up. I wonder if there's something to do with Hurricane Harvey. I don't know. But that's what those two things have in common. And when I saw how much magic Tito had, I thought, you know what, it's time for Tito to have one of his quarry projects, but we're going to call it the T2 project. So Tito has developed our T2 project, and he has done it pretty much all by himself. So I want to give him a round of applause as soon as I finish telling you what it is. So T2 is about tree trunk removals. Tito has identified 10 properties in town. We have a picture of each one of them, and I want you just to let words see for yourself what I'm talking about. Go ahead, Sandra, and you'll just see these tree trunks, and you can scroll through them slowly. Aren't they humongous?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've been there so long, grass and weeds are growing over them.
Dying.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
So I thought, well, maybe, you know, they're all part of a neighborhood where we just forgot to pick up trees, or there was some kind of organization that was supposed to pick up trees. And so we mapped them out. No, they're kind of spread out, so that can't be it. Well, you know what? I'm not going to spend any more time trying to figure out why they're there. We just need to figure out how to get rid of them. And so what we're going to do, and Tito has done his due diligence, he's identified each of the property owners. We will be sending out notice letters asking them to remove it. If they don't remove it, then the city will go ahead forward and abate it. We will abate it, and if the amount it takes to abate the tree is not paid, we will talk about coming to you and filing liens on those properties for the removal. At this point, I'm not going to move forward with filing liens until someone can tell me, what do you think happened? And if we can get some stories from these property owners about what they believed happened, I'll come back to you and let you know what Tito and our demo team who's participating in this T2 project find out. So if we can thank Tito for using his innovation and taking an assignment and running with it. Tito, I appreciate your help, and I know that you're going to do phenomenal at this. Okay. Any comments, Tito? Two and two. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you,
All right,
Roxanne.
thank you, Roxanne.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're gonna go to board and commission appointments. It's for the Planning and Zoning Commission.
We have, there was one resignation on this board from Michael Schultz. We had two members that submitted their board applications, and that is, we got one from Herb Lancaster and Michael Moore. And for the record, Councilmember Moore has filed a conflict form, and she'll be abstaining from voting on this item.
Favor of the council? Any questions?
Inhale. Put on glasses.
I don't know, but it's getting cold.
It's always getting cold in here. Oh. Okay. Well, do we need a motion?
Yes, we need a motion. We have two board applications, Herb Lancaster and Michael Moore.
Yeah.
And it's only for one or both? right?
Just one,
Just
just
for
one
one.
vacancy.
Well, I'll make a motion to appoint Herb Lancaster to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Your second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now we're gonna go to the consent agenda. All of the following items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the city council and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of this item unless a council member so requests. If discussion is desired for that item, it will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes for 11/12/20 and 11/16/20.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now we're gonna go to the city manager, which is consider an act on renewing interlocal agreement with San Pedro County to regulate food establishment rules and on-site storage facilities beginning January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2021.
This is just a routine annual interlocal agreement that we enter in with San Patricio County to inspect, to do on-site inspections for the septic tanks for homeowners that are within the city of Aransas House.
I like that one.
I'll make a motion that we approve the interlocal agreement with San Patricio County, starting on, let's see, on January 1, 2021, and run through December 31st, 2021.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now we go to consider an act on resolution approving the resale properties, suit number S-12-1342-TS, lots 27 and 28, block 4, Freaks First Edition, City of Aransas Pass, San Patricio County. The property is located at 1341 Arch, bid submitted by Alex Tan in the amount of $20,000.
We have a representative here from Linebarger.
Mr. Mayor, Council, my name is Robert Cuevas. I'm the office manager for Linebarger, Gogler, and Sampson out of our Corpus Christi office. And what we have before you is an offer for this particular property. At the last meeting, when I was here, we did have a lower bid, which was $15,000. We received a second offer. We did get the two bidders together and had a bid off, and we resulted in this $20,000 bid by Mr. Tan. And so this is the existing bid on this particular property, and we will do the property tax code. We'll have to pay the cost of the sale first. You will receive roughly $5,625.67 if you accept this offer. We did speak with this particular person, and they're going to improve the property. And what they told us is that they plan to live here on the weekends, or come on the weekends to visit. And just to let you know that we did have a conversation when I went back after that particular meeting about when somebody submits an offer, we're gonna do our best to try to get the intent of the bidder and convey that to you. Now, we can't make them put that in the offer, but we can certainly try to get them to tell us what they're gonna do with the property. If they could improve it, clean it, and we're gonna tell them that's what the city wants. They want you to do something with it, not sit on it. Hopefully that will work, and we'll do everything we can. Again, we can't tell them what to do when they submit their offer, but we'll do everything we can. So I want you to know that our meeting did we did discuss that in the office, so going forward, we'll do everything we can to do that. But this is the offer, and it's for your consideration.
And what's the size of the property?
I don't have the exact footage, but generally it's a 25 by 125 or 150 lot. Generally, that's generally how they are. And you have 2 lots, so I don't have an exact measurement of the particular property.
It says on here it's a .1610 acres, that's what it has on it.
I don't know, it's a lot better than $50.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The way, when we order title for a piece of property, we then begin to, we make sure the description which is on the deed is reflected in the petition and in the judgment.
Oh, okay, this is the one we discussed. Okay, this is the one that's on the road by the shrimpery.
Yeah, they had it.
Yeah,
They bid
it's
for
down there by the
15.
shrimpery grounds. Mm-hmm. It's by
I
the
think that
steel
was
homes.
discussed last time, that's correct.
Yes, it is.
Yes, ma'am.
Just trying to see what.
What are they planning on doing on that property? Have
We
they,
were told that Steve Salcedo, who's the attorney for this particular county who couldn't make it today, he did speak with this particular person, and basically what the person told him that he intended to improve the property, and he intended to move on the property. I guess visit, as what
Okay.
he told them.
Like building a home or something like that.
I'm sorry?
Like building a house or rather
He
improve?
told he would improve it. He would improve the property. His intent was to come here on the weekends. That's what he told him. Mr. Salcedo.
Okay.
Hopefully it's not just to park an RV.
Melinda, do you have some information on that?
Yes, I do. Melinda, I'm the city's realtor, and nice to meet you. Thank you very much for coming. It's, the living space is 912 square feet, and the frontage is 50 by 140,
Okay.
and it's equivalent to 7,000 square feet, .161.
Very good.
And the county appraisal on it is 36, a little over 36,000.
36,530, yes. Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Huh? Are we okay with it?
yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
A lot better than $50 an hour.
It's a lot better than $50, yes.
That's correct.
Mhm.
Well, I make a
This-
motion
this
that we
is more
approve
competitive
the
to
tax
price.
resale property at 1341 South Arch for $20,000.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
And I will get, on those 2 properties that she discussed earlier, I want to go back tomorrow, and we're going to look into those 2 properties.
For the record,
Okay?
Mary, for the record,
One's in Suffolk County, one's in
Mayor Pro
Aransas.
Tem Moore voted aye as
We'll
well
get back
on
to
there.
that one,
Okay,
okay?
thank you.
Which one did they get?
December 31st, 2023.
Yes, council approved for us to go out for bids for our electric provider. We received 3 bids. TXU, which is our current electric provider, was the lowest of the 3 bids for a 36-month period. So staff is recommending for us to award the contract for 36 months to TXU.
What were they charging us before?
This is slightly higher. I believe that our current contract is 3.2, and this is 3.7. But this was the lowest of the 3 bids submitted in the proposal.
So TXU came cheaper than all of them, huh?
I make a motion, accept the bid for the retail energy provider for TXU for January 1, 2021, ending December 31st, 2023.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're gonna go to this. State and authenticated copy of the charter amendments under municipal seal showing approval by the voters on November 3rd, 2020.
Copy of the charter amendments.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now, we're gonna go to Development Services. Is consider an act on approving a memorandum of understanding between the City of Aransas Pass and the Texas Community Watershed Partners for guidance and development of recreational vehicle parks within the city jurisdiction. The guy with the issues.
Yes, this is a memorandum of understanding between the city and Texas Community Watershed. It's an agency or a link under the Texas A&M Agri-Life Extension Services. The main idea is to get together with this agency and discuss and help us with technical advice and then proposals to partner with them to come up with strategies how best we can grow and also protect the environmentally sensitive areas. And these areas may include the assessment of local plans, the codes, GIS, and the analysis by providing some sort of educational materials and then current state as well as federal environmental regulations that will help us be able to come up with our planning and development regulations, as well as technical assistance in findings, which will also help in meeting facilitation and hosting educational public workshops pertaining to the purpose that are set forth in this MOU. So basically, the partnership will be on educational and informational purposes only. And it's going to be much more of use of research-based knowledge, and will focus on the needs in areas of agricultural, environmental stewardship, youth and adult life skills, human capital and leadership, as well as community economic development. So we are going to get together with this team and create a project team. And this team is going to be comprised of a section from that agency, that is the TCWP, Texas Community watershed partners and also the city. So we're going to have two groups from each side, and then we come together. We're going to meet bi-weekly and discuss these pertinent issues, including helping us to come up with the modalities of fixing the problems we have with recreational parks within the city. And so we hope to do that as soon as possible. And it's going to take up to a period where by end of May 31st, it will come to an end. So this is the modalities that we have for you to consider and approve. Thank you.
So this is, they're going to help the city staff and recommendations to the council involving the RV parks?
Yes.
Because that's okay.
If you have any other issues, we can consider, but our main focus will be the RV park for now.
I guess I'm just a little confused.
I was too.
Yeah.
I was.
Basically, when we met and we were discussing the RV and the RV moratorium and all of that,
Right.
those issues. It was suggested to partner up with the university to help us, guide us in how to identify the areas in town where we want to rezone for RVs. So Councilwoman Moore gave me some contact information. I reached out to them. So this entity, from the Texas Community Watershed Partners is going to assign someone to meet with OSE to give them, so we're gonna give them all the information, we're gonna give them the maps, what we've done so far, our ordinances, and then they're gonna come and we're gonna meet with the council, with the ZBA and the P&Z, as we had met twice already, to help those board members guide in planning where the city would like to have the RV parks within the city. That was what I took from what we had discussed about a month and a half ago.
Because what Jose was telling us, it totally different with RV parks, right?
Say that again,
We
I'm sorry.
partnered-
It was something different than RV parks than what he was, the presentation. It was kind of like the environmental and everything else. I was just like, so
No.
that's why I'm confused. How does this have to
Oh.
do with RV parks?
The,
So,
what,
I'm
what,
just-
what is saying, what is before you is the details of what we're going to look at as the basic information to
Well,
help us come up with that
we can't do a-
concept, so.
A moratorium is what we
Okay.
can't do.
Mhm.
That's not
All
what
right.
this is.
Well, as long as there's no cost to the city, it's just gonna
No.
be time.
Mm.
So that's just a wholly, okay. All right, I'm still confused what they're going to do, but okay.
Yeah, so.
Do you think it's too much detail for
Well,
the RV park?
No.
So what does the Texas Community Watershed Partners do? What is their role? What is their,
We partnered with them to do the wetland ordinance.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
under that same, they were trying to find a grant that we would fall under as well to assist us free of charge to help us with the RV park and getting us to rezone and identify the areas within the city to identify and get RV parks in. So they use that umbrella of what we had with
Okay.
the wetlands, that umbrella of that grant to be able to provide that assistance to us free of charge. And that's, I think, where the confusion stood with the environmental that he went into. Because we did partner with them on a separate project for the wetlands.
right,
But they
okay.
will be helping us now with the RVs and the RV parks.
Okay.
And Mayor Pro Tem Moore said she'd also street widths, fire, and police also need to give us their requirements. That's what she just texted.
the requirements for RV parks?
Yes, what they would need as far as the fire department, how wide the streets need to be able to get a fire truck in there.
Yeah.
Well, I
No,
think-
don't we already have that?
I would assume it's already in the
I'm
ordinance.
asking.
Yes, yes, we
Asking
have
Nathan.
that.
We already have that, okay.
So I'm just thinking
So-
that this would be more like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I think I've said this before, I'll say it again. Until a developer comes to us and says, I want to build an RV park at 123 commercial, whatever. We don't, how can we as a city designate, okay, we only want RV parks on the northwest side or the south side or the west side? It has to do with the amount of piece of property that is for sale at the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you gotta hope they wanna sell it.
technically, we are drafting a section to separate RV parks from the MH zone. And so we're gonna
Right.
have an RV recreational vehicle district, different from a manufactured home district. If we do that, we will need to designate an area that is showing on the map that this is the RV recreational vehicle district. It can be a small section, but we have to have it.
Okay.
Do you agree?
That is the purpose that the council was meeting, that met with you remember you had 2 meetings with the ZBA, P&Z board,
Yes, we
and the city
did.
council.
Okay.
You all were meeting at that point in time to identify areas within the city where you would like to have future development of RV parks coming in. It was I'm under the understanding that, there was RV parks coming in and we didn't know how the end result, the look of the city was gonna be. And this is to be able to say, this areas of town is where we would allow RV parks. We don't want RV parks, let's say, for example, on the entrances of town. And that, so you wouldn't identify that area as an RV park possibility. So that was my understanding, that's the reason why you all were meeting with these other 2 boards, to be able to identify areas that were suited for RV parks. Is that not the case? I'm getting that that's not the direction you want to go anymore.
No, I know one of the main purpose behind it is we wanted to make sure that we were all in agreement, because we were having, look like so many RV parks coming in and wanting to set up.
Yes, ma'am.
To set up their camp in just different parts of the city. I know my concern was, do we gonna have them in so many neighborhoods, we're gonna have them all over town, because they were just coming in.
Yes.
And so, it's like, we need to have some kind of a structure, even though we can't make the property owner sell it, and this is what I want, but at least we have something in place that if someone, I'm going to approach this property owner because my intent is to build an RV park, and then they come, well, before you buy the property, let me see if that's something that the city is comfortable with me building an RV park there, and so, because the way it stands right now, we don't have any, they can even go to, just right close to, the places that we would like to develop for something else, they could have an RV park. Just more or less so the person buying the property doesn't buy property and then to find out that that's not an area that, the council will approve, or, the P&Z.
Yeah.
That's just my thinking. That was my thinking. That was me. I don't know what the feelings of everybody else, but just to kind of limit, where we would like to see an RV park, if the situation arises.
Yeah.
But I thought we were gonna get with Texas A&M to be able to get it.
That's
done.
them.
That's
This
what
is-
this
This
is.
is
Because
the branch
it is.
of them.
But this is, like I said, it was
okay.
everything else but RV was addressed on here, so, okay.
Yes.
But it's free to the city, so let's
This is
just go for it.
That's just so that
It just
that's
sounds
the
a little
grant.
different, right?
Yes.
So does this Texas Community Watershed, do they, I know what they did for us with the wetlands ordinances, and that was a phenomenal
great,
feat that they went through, or to do all of that, because that was way above our pay grade and something that we didn't have the knowledge to do whatsoever at all.
Right.
But as far as the city sitting down with the planning and zoning and ZBA and saying, you know, hey, this is where we need RVs, this is where we don't. I don't particularly see that we need another entity to come in and tell us that.
Well, give us an unbiased opinion.
Right, well,
And it's free.
Yeah, it's free. Can't complain
you know,
about
it's
that.
free.
I'm all for
Everybody
free.
likes something free.
Well, if at that point,
Well, I guess they can come talk to us. I mean,
Yes.
it doesn't hurt for them to
That's-
come talk to
that's
us
what I
and
was
see
gonna
what
say.
they have to offer.
correct.
'cause the
And
final
they can't
answer's
come
us
and do a
anyway.
presentation until we enter into the memorandum
Okay.
of understanding.
Gotcha.
So that's, if we decide at that point, at the first presentation, that this is not for us, we can go our separate ways and say thank you, but,
Okay.
you know, this is not gonna work out for us.
Okay. All right.
And I want to add that the idea Ms. Aguero talked about, we did not complete that discussion as to where,
Right.
you know,
Right.
all the members want to come to a final conclusion as to where RV should go. So, and I know the last time we met, there were different viewpoints as to where it should go. So I think we should still get a time to organize one more at least to figure out where this RV should go, because currently I've been receiving calls for RV parks on Wheeler Avenue and also on Commercial, which you know, I know that is not the city's interest. So we need to be very strong and make that decision. Else, if they come in and they have the right to request for application to rezone property for RV, technically, I cannot stop them. All I can do is give them the application, bring it in, and my strength will be just a recommendation, either to approve or deny. So.
Okay.
Favor of the council?
I'll make a motion that we approve MOU between the City of Aransas Pass and the Texas Community Watershed Partners for guidance and development of RV parks within the city's jurisdiction.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now we're gonna go to consider and act on approving amendment number 1 to task order 18 for engineering professional consulting services between the city and L&B Incorporated for the CDBG DR Drainage and Waterways Project.
Eric?
Mayor, Council, Eric Villarreal with LNV. What you have before you, there's an amendment to the task order 18, which was previously approved during Grant Works review of the task order. They noticed a typo, and so this amendment is to reduce our fee by $5.99 so that it can be, so it can match the amount that got submitted to the GLO.
Okay.
Well, I make a motion to approve the amendment number 1 to task order 18 for engineering professional consulting services between the city and L&B for the CDBG DR drainage and wastewater projects. I think that's it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now we go with my favorite thing, consider and act on approving change order number 5 with Landmark Structures for the elevated storage tank in the amount of $3,468 that L&B is gonna pay.
Mayor, Council, Eric Villarreal with LNV. Before you've got the change order number 5 for in the amount of $3,468 to Landmark Structures. The work on this has already been done during the installation of the fencing at the site. It was found that there was an additional gate that should have been along, what's the street on that side? on Wilson. When we did our survey, the fence had been taken down, and so there was no record of a gate there. So we went ahead and told them to go ahead and put it in because this is covered by FEMA. And as the breakdown shows, FEMA will cover 90% of that. You're responsible for the other 10, but the state is covering 75% of that, so that leaves you with the final 25%, which is that $86.70.
And this is the fencing that goes around the water tower, right?
Yes, sir.
And we have one opening and the fence is already up?
You've got two. So the original plans, when we did our survey, there was no fence there. So when we put our plans together, we showed fencing all the way around it with a main gate. During the construction of the fence, city staff said, hey, we think there used to be a gate here, so we had to go back to like Google Street View, and we found a smaller gate. So we went ahead and put that gate in. So now you've got the main opening with the driveway, and then the smaller gate that was there previously, for whatever it was used for. I don't know.
That's a high dollar gate.
That's
A very expensive gate.
Gate is a high dollar gate.
86
Is it made out of like a stainless steel, what?
$3,468.
That's a FEMA, and all those already paid for. All we gotta get it.
I know.
Okay, so
I
we
know.
just.
Yeah, and I
Let's
believe
just
there
go
was a
on.
breakdown from the contractor on everything that was included in that 3468.
That's just for the gate?
Yes.
For a small gate, not like a double gate that vehicles can drive through? It's just a pedestrian gate?
No, it was it's a single swinging gate where vehicles can
Okay.
go. It's not
Okay.
the double 10-foot
We'll call
gate,
it the
20-foot
high-dollar
gate. It's a
gate.
10-foot.
All right. I make a motion to approve change order number 5 with Landmark Structures for the elevated storage tank in the amount of $3,468.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Consider and act on resolution number 2020-958, waiving water and sewer taps for the area known as Sherwood Forest for customers who meet certain criteria containing various provisions relating thereto and effective date.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. What you have before you, y'all had asked us to look into this for the area there that has no water connections at this point. We went through, the grant was done in 2004 for Sherwood Forest and Oak Lane, and then in 2007 for the remaining streets. The grant did pay for those people that lived there at the time to get their connections. Everything was pre-tapped, so existing right now, the empty lots that don't have connections yet, there is a pre-tap there. The only exception would be if a piece of property was subdivided, there will only be one tap for there, and then the other people would have to pay for the additional tap.
Mhm.
But I believe there's 22 properties right now that don't have water yet in that area, and they are pre-tapped. Staff has gone on and confirmed.
Okay, now, on this, is this just to waive the fee, are we putting a time limit on this or not?
Yes, 6 months.
6 months, is
Just
it
like the
on,
other one we did.
is it on here?
Yes, ma'am, it's on the, where is it? Here we go, they have until, here, right here, May 7th.
Okay.
Of 2021, it's on the
Okay.
resolution.
Will they be made aware of this, of these residents that have been identified, that they have until May the 7th? Will they be made aware
What
that they
we
can
could
tab
do
in?
is, we could go ahead, either mail something out or leave something at their residence. We've identified them right here on the screen, so we know who the residents are. And some of them already have an account because they have a garbage account with us. So the ones that have an account, we can mail them out a letter to let them know. And the ones that don't have an account, we can try to get staff out there to the residents and leave like a door knocker or something,
Mhm.
making them aware.
I just think we
Yes.
need to do something
I
to
do
let them
too,
know
I
that.
agree.
Yeah,
Not
rather
a
than
problem.
just, so
Yeah.
sad you forgot about it. or you-
Yes, send
or you-
something by mail.
Yeah.
And this
And
is just
put something
for
on the
water
door.
at this point, because
Yes.
sewer, we're
The
working on
sewer's
that
not
Yes,
grant.
no, I
Yeah,
understand.
we're working on the grant for that one right now.
Right.
Yeah, but I think if the meter's already there, I don't think we ought to double charge. Meter's already there, I don't think we ought to be able to charge for something that's already there.
No, I wouldn't either, because they've been without it so long.
If
They've
the tap's already there,
gone
that's
through
what
it.
we charge
Yeah.
the money for, why are you gonna double charge
Well,
it?
this is just for the, send them a letter that they're aware for them to tab into it
Mhm.
without a fee. on this one here.
Yeah.
This is a separate
Yeah.
discussion of what you're talking about on the
Okay.
sewer.
Don't worry.
Mhm. Mm.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, because we can get into so many other discussions here.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Fernando.
You-
I make a motion that we approve resolution number 2020-958, waiving the water and sewer tap fees for an Arano and a Sherwood Forest for the customers that have been identified on the listing.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And now we go to city council and staff announcements. It's a council workshop meeting December 10th at 2020. And I can't be here. I have to go to my brother-in-law's funeral in La Porte,
Do you
so-
want us to postpone and we could reschedule so that the whole council can be present, or? These are the items that we're gonna be discussing. We're gonna be discussing ATVs, the panhandling ordinance, and parking in unimproved, areas. So you may wanna be here for the discussion, and we posted today, but we could go ahead and reschedule for another day, Mayor, that you may be able to participate, and the other council members, I don't know what the,
Do you feel like you need to be present? That's what she's asking you.
yes. If
That's
you'd
fine.
like, we could do that, sir.
I'm
If you
good.
can postpone till the following week, I will be able to be there.
Wonderful.
following week,
See,
okay.
there you go.
Okay.
We'll-
Well,
we'll change it.
what day, what day, Mayor
Yes.
Pro Tem?
What day next week?
It doesn't, just this week I needed to be here with Mike, because he only got home,
Okay,
on Tuesday, so yeah.
wonderful. So we'll pick that date and we'll notify council, and we'll cancel the meeting.
Next Thursday will be the 17th.
Do you want to have it on a Thursday, or?
Well, if we don't have a meeting on Monday, can we do it on the 14th?
There's a planning and
Zoning.
Oh, there is planning
The
though, okay.
17th is my 41st.
Okay, you don't want to do it then either.
No, okay, how about on Tuesday?
that Thursday.
You better not.
We
Tuesday?
don't have anything on
The
Tuesday?
15th, Tuesday?
I'm just saying.
Mayor, can you be here on Tuesday, the 15th?
Yes.
Councilman Moore, can you be here on the 15th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, everybody else, yes?
Yes,
Okay, wonderful, so then we'll do it on the 15th?
okay.
It's at 5:30, correct?
At 5:30, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, that'll work.
Then we can add that other item that I wanted on there.
Yeah, at that particular time, yes. Give it a,
We will work on
we
that.
did it for that, we did it for Carrie.
She wants another item on there, yes. I just don't want it to be rushed. She wants to add the discussion of the basketball courts. And I felt that these 3 items were gonna be a lot to discuss in the meeting, that we may rush over. But if you want, we can go ahead and add it, that's not a problem.
I'm good.
Okay.
Well, I do.
All right, we'll add it.
Well, I want it.
We'll add it, yes. ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, now we're gonna go to citizen comments. Citizen comments are intended for the matter that are not scheduled on the agenda. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes and state your name and address for the record. Be advised that the Texas Open Meeting Act prohibits the city council from responding and discussing your comments. The law authorizes the following: make a statement of factual information, recite existing policy, advise that this subject may be placed on the agenda for subsequent meeting.
There you go.
Mhm.
Any comments?
My name is Donald Brummett, live at 902 South Wright, and I got a question for Sandy and Fernando. On Bigelow Street, I talked to the previous city manager, and he said that when they refinished Bigelow, they were gonna replace the storm drains underneath the road. I've noticed that they have covered up 3 or 4 of them with concrete and dirt.
The storm drain?
Yes,
It's all sheet flow there. The only storm drains are at the very end by the memorial tower.
no, sir. Up there where they put all that cement and stuff, you got storm drains, 3 or 4 of them, and they've covered up at least 3.
The way the engineer designed it was for it all to be sheet flow.
Well, you got pipe going underneath there, and if you don't dig it up and replace it, then you're gonna have to cut it to take the pipe out.
But they want to take it out, but they're digging almost 2 feet down into the subgrade to replace it, so.
I hate to see you go back and cut that road 3 years down the road, down the way and
Yeah, but I thought we were gonna start boring under the ground on the main
Then
roads.
it would be like Avenue A, like they got speed humps all the way across it.
I think our recommendation was to stop
That's all
cutting
I've got to
roads
say.
and,
Thank you.
and
Can you-
boring under them.
Can you look into that, Fernando?
Yeah, but we're not
Okay,
supposed to say nothing.
thank you.
Oh,
No bad.
oopsie.
Okay. Anybody else? No? Okay, now we're gonna go into executive session, section 551.071 of the Texas Open Meeting Act to meet with its attorney to seek legal advice on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the city council under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with the Texas Open Meeting Act relating to Industrial District Agreement Number 10 between the city and PNR Development LLC for a term beginning January 1st, 2016 and continued until December 31st, 2030. Telecommunications easement and lease TPA for LLC, City Legislative Agenda, Section 551.071 of the Texas Open Meeting Act to meet with attorneys to seek legal advice on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the city council under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with the Texas Open Meeting Act, Section 551.072, deliberations regarding real estate property, and Section 551.087, deliberations regarding economic development negotiations related to the city-owned property commonly known as NWR property of Ransom Road, also known as the Nueces County Appraisal District Number 380310, Section 551.071 of the Texas Open Meeting Act to meet with the attorney to seek legal advice on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the city council under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with the Texas Open Meeting Act and Section 551.087 deliberations regarding economic development and negotiations related to an RV park on Avenue A, Mark Marlowe. Section 551.074 to deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment duties, discipline for dismissal of a public official or an employee as municipal court judge. And it is 7:12. Okay, we're gonna reconvene into open session to consider and take action, if any, on any item discussed in the executive session, and it is 9:29.
I make a motion to assign the Industrial District Agreement Number 10 from PNR Development LLC to 2072 FM LLC to be known as Industrial District Agreement 10A.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Make a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All places.